Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for another Journaling on a Budget memory lane. So last week we did some starting construction for some tags and that type of thing for our journal. So this week we are going to put some of those things together so that they'll be ready to put in our journal when we get that spread ready. So to start with, I went through and I did put a tag at the top of each of the pages to let me know what spread this would be so that it was easier for me to tuck things in. And then I just went through the things that I had pulled out and decided where they were going to go in the journal. So the very first spread is going to be the candy store. So we're going to make a pocket and a tag, and this is one of the matchbooks folds that we did when we were working on the fashion page. And so I think that this looks really cute. These can be taken out and used. You can write inside of here. You could even write on those if you want, but it's tissue paper, so it would go through. I don't think you would want to write on it unless you used a pencil, but that's totally up to whoever this book winds up belonging to. But I thought what we would do is I got this candy corn paper in Happy Mail, and so I thought that I would just put that on the front of the matchbook, and I thought that that would really be cute. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear it out and put it on there just because I like the looks of that kind of edge. So whenever you're tearing, the part that you pull towards you will not have the white edge, and this one is a really good one to see it with, and the one that goes away from you has the white edge. So what I'm talking about here is you don't see the white edge of the paper, the core of the paper, and here you do. So this is the one I pulled towards me. So I'm going to do two sides and then figure out where I need to do the other side and the bottom. So go a ways with this and then see. I think I want to go just a little bit further. You can always take some more off, but you can't add it back on. Well, that's not even true. You could. I'm going to go that far, and then I'm going to, you could add another layering paper behind it, which actually looks really nice. I think I'm going to tear it probably right about here. So, there's always a way to fix whatever happens. There we go. So this is going to go on here like that. And so I think I want to tear it right about here, I think. Right there. Now, the one thing that hold on just a second. Oh, I could hear paper falling, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. Okay, so it's the one you pull towards you is not going to have the white edge, so I want to make sure that I do this right. Okay. And I'm going to turn this over. Just kind of eyeball it because it's easier for me to pull towards me with my right hand. But I had stacked up some non-stick backing, like drop papers, and they were sitting on top of a little case over there, and they just all fell down. But they did it like one at a time, sliding really slowly. So I'm standing here and I could hear that, and it's like, couldn't figure out what the heck it was. All right, so I want this to go in here like this, and I think I want to take off just a little bit more right in here. And you can also just draw lines on the back, and so that they're not seen, and then rip it from the back side so that you have your ripped edges in the size that you want. But I don't mind adjusting. And I think I like it that way the best. Yes, I like that. And since it's going to go on something flat, and it's flat I'm going to use glue stick. So I have a permanent glue stick, but for things that are really being moved a lot, and this will be being opened and closed, but maybe I'll put glue stick around the edge and wet glue in the middle. Yeah, maybe I better do that because I do want to make sure that nothing comes apart. So just put a little bit of wet glue in the middle here. And then I kind of like the stick glue on the outside because it holds it much quicker. And I'm trying to find, there we go. Grab a piece of parchment. I'm just going to get that nice and flat on there. And then put the glue stick around the edge. Which if I get glue on the glue stick, it's not going to hurt anything. Just kind of give it a wipe off. Because if it dries on there and dries hard, then it will hurt something. Okay, so we're just going to take this. And I liked the smaller part to the top. Just going to kind of tuck it in there. A little bit more. Needs to come down just a bit on this side. There. Yep, I like the looks of that. And then just smooth that out to make sure that your wet glue doesn't leave lumps. Because if your wet glue is thick in spots, it will leave lumps where those spots are. So you just spread it out with a credit card, anything that will spread it. And there we go. So because we had done this earlier, and that's the thing about, just do what you want to do when you want to do it, because now all I had to do was add that to the front, and look, it's all ready, and it's really actually quite cute. I think the only thing would be maybe putting a little bit of inking around it. Whoops, hold on. I'm going to grab some paper towel. You can use a credit card or something like this to spread your glue instead of using your finger, and then you don't wind up with glue all over your hands that you might mess up your project with. So I always kind of forget that. But I think that this would look good with edging, and I'm thinking maybe orange, but possibly yellow. So I'm not going to do it right now till I completely get this layout done. Then I'll decide what color I want to do some edging with. So I'm just going to leave that like that. But what I'm going to do with everything that we do today is I am going to put them in a book between some parchment paper in a heavy book and let them sit there till they dry. So we're not going to put them in here right now because this needs to dry and it needs, something to hold it nice and flat. So I have parchment like this, and I am just going to put them all in there and put them in my big atlas. So that way they can dry. Okay, so I had put this in this section because I thought that I might use it for something. I really don't know yet, so I will leave it here. I have the Valentine's, You're a Perfect Valentine, which I'm not sure what to do with that yet, so that's going to go there. But I thought that this little popcorn bag would be really cute to use as a pocket. And I thought this popcorn paper that I also got in Happy Meal would really make cute. I'm going to make 2 tags to go in that pocket. So when I was thinking about this, because this is a lap book, a journal, a writing journal. This is a really big, it's going to get very fat. And so we have all of this to deal with if I just glue this in as a pocket. The thing is, you don't have to have all of that. Yes, it's a bag. Some people want people to know that they put, they want it to look like a bag. But no matter what, when you glue it down, it not necessarily is gonna, they're not gonna see all of this. So I'm gonna take that off because we don't need it. The other thing is, that will give me 2 pockets instead of 1. So I'll have one for another project. So I just cut it across where I thought that my tags would be tall enough to still stick out the top, and it had this the name of the company that made the bag. So I just cut it off right there, so that's not on there, and we've just got the popcorn. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the sides, and I'm not going to worry about that bottom right this second, except to unattach it from my front. I'm going to keep the fold. I'm going to cut it right on the center fold, because that way it will make it so that this pocket will open up a little bit if we want to put extra things in there. So I'm just going to cut it where that bag folds together on the side. And when I get ready to use the other one in another project, I will just cut off the bottom and, you know, get it all set to go. So now we have this. So that looks great. We can glue it onto our page, and it will have, and we will glue these down to the page, so it will have a little bit of lift to it because of the way that we're going to glue it down there. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it over like this. And then these will be glued down so that this will be stuck to our paper all the way down. And so this bag will still do this. So that's how that's going to be glued on there. I'm not going to do that right away because I'm not exactly sure, you know, how I'm going to, what else I'm going to put on these pages. So, but I want to make a couple of tags. And so you can go through and do things this way. Maybe I'll leave that like that. This is ripped, so I was going to make it straight, but that will make it even skinnier. But this is also going to make it skinnier. But if I just go ahead and rip all of it, because I'm going to back this on yellow paper. So two things that I was thinking of, you know, like that bag, that's very thick. I was thinking about the amount of bulk we're going to have in this book. And I got to thinking, and I thought, you know, I tend to, and I see a lot of other people also, they either do a lot of collage on their paper to make their tags stiff, or they put it on cardstock. And I went to pull out cardstock, and I thought, you know, I don't have any dyed cardstock hardly. I pretty much dye regular copy paper. And so I got to thinking, and I thought, you know, when we use cardstock, it just puts so much more bulk to that tag. And, you know, when you write somebody a letter, do you write it on cardstock? You don't. You know, I mean, you send it in an envelope. These things are going to be tucked into pockets. They're for people to journal on with their own private, you know, thoughts. So it's not necessarily even going to be, you know, it's not going to be something that's going to be read by other people and, you know, come, you know, in and out of that pocket. So I'm really thinking that we don't need to use cardstock. We don't need to collage it real heavily to make it super thick, because all that does is add bulk to our project, and there's really not a reason for it. I mean, there is if you know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm saying we don't have to do that. So now I have these two, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to back them. You can write on the white back, but I want to put some color to it. Plus, I want them to be a touch wider, because that just seems so thin to me. So I'm going to back it with some colored paper. And let me see. If I start at the 2, about 4 1/4. So that's 2 1/4 inches is how wide those are. So let's try 3. We'll do 3. If 3 is too big, I can cut it down a little bit. So let's see. We put that on there like that. I think I like that. So 3 is good. And then we're just going to cut it off. Right about there. and just save that for something later. That's going to make a really cute tag, and so that I don't forget, I'm going to round the corners right now. I'll use the medium one because I want to do that. To me, it just makes it, I don't know, softer or something. Okay, so we did that 3 inches. We'll do another one just like it, because those 2 pieces are pretty much, our 2 popcorns are pretty much the same. Take this, just put it on here, and cut that one off. Put all that aside. So now we're going to have 2 more tags and a pocket ready to go on our candy spread, our candy store spread. And I'm just not sure exactly what else I want to do, so that's as far as we're going to do that. This one we're just going to leave it in here because it'll be glued in at another time. So, and then these ones we are going to glue them down and stick them over in our atlas. So if you can find an atlas at a secondhand store, that works. They work really good for holding things because they're so big. So you can hold all sorts of sizes in an atlas. Of, you know, whether you're doing tags or whether you're doing a full 8.5 by 10 picture of some sort. It just works really well. So I have a couple of them and I use them a lot. Just because they're just so perfect for what I want to do with them. Okay, there's a lot of extra glue right there. And I'm just going to put some glue around the edges. Across the bottom. And then just line it up on there. That one looks good. Get this one on, and then we'll smooth them out to make sure that we don't have any lumps, especially since we're doing regular paper to regular paper. And I don't have to decide what I want to be the top and the bottom because there is no top or bottom to those as far as I can put them either way. All right, so I'm just going to take another part of my spreader, I want the rounded part, and just flatten that out. And then the atlas is really going to make it nice and keep it nice and flat while it dries. The other thing about using wet glue versus stick glue is, to me, it seems like wet glue gets a little stiffer. So if you want that stiff tag, you know, even without the cardstock, you know, they get pretty stiff when the glue dries. So these are going to go in our pocket like that. And see, it kind of looks like it is popcorn popping out of the bag. So, you know, and that may make me decide which one, like that looks more like popcorn, and maybe this way. There. But yeah, so that's how that's going to go in there. But we'll have some other kind of pocket or something like that. So this one, again, is going to go in the atlas. And that's what we have to do with there. Put back my thoughts of what we might want to put in that page and leave that there. So this is our toy store, which we had the little Tim Holtz people that I thought were really cute. And I really wanted to put these games in there because I love games. But at this point in time, we have the store window with a lot of journaling space behind it. Now, I could fit this in here, but that would take away the journaling space, which this is supposed to be a journal, and people may want to put their own pictures or whatever. So I am not going to use that, even though I thought I wanted to. We have our onesie rules on how to play onesie, and our onesie dice is in here. We have another journaling card. We have the envelope with a tag in it. And so I really wanted to put these little kids in here, and I thought, oh, where am I going to put them? It's just, we really have enough, but we didn't put anything on there. Remember when we did it, we did not put anything on there because we didn't know what we wanted to put on there. And so I'm glad that I didn't. Sometimes when you say, oh, I have to finish the whole page. Well, if I had finished that whole page and stuck something on there, I had lots of games and stuff. I'm going to just edge this so that their white edges kind of disappear. But I had lots of games and stuff. I could have stuck something on there right then when I made that tag, but I just didn't know what I wanted to put on there. And now I'm really glad that I didn't, because I thought these two little kids were so cute, and I wanted to put them in here. And really, if I had already decorated that, there would not have been a real place to put these. I could have made another tag, but this layout is already getting very large. And so I really wouldn't have had a place for them. So just remember, don't force yourself to finish something. What we're doing today, we're not finishing anything. Well, technically, I guess we're kind of finishing this spread, because this will probably be the last piece we'll need here. But we're just going through and, just making things to put in here, but we're not finishing any pages today, because I really thought that this would be a day that we would make ephemera to put in here. And also, I wanted to go through as much as I could of the different things that we were doing the other day. And I really just didn't have, I really didn't feel like actually finishing. I'm trying to think which way they're going to go. I think this way. We kind of stand them on this silver line here. And because these are really heavy cardstock, I'm just going to press them down and stick them in the book, because the glue is not going to make lumps on the cardstock, and the backing is cardstock also. So long as I don't have, if it's hot glue sometimes makes bumps no matter how thick your paper is. But regular wet glue does not normally wrinkle or leave lumps on cardstock. So there we go. They both just one got a new teddy bear, one got a new dolly, and they're going in the book. So that's what we have to do on that page. And this one I made it so that could tuck behind there and stay back there. Whoops. Okay, when it came to the fashion page, I had cut this out. These things were already in here. And I thought, we do need something to go behind our girl there. I had put this button card in here that maybe we could use for a journaling card, and I am going to leave it in here, but I'm going to put it back. I'm going to put it over on this side. And I thought we actually could go ahead and put these on here like this, because this belly band is wide. We want this to stick out the edge. So I was thinking maybe something like that, and maybe like a measuring tape on each side, which I don't have out here, and I'm not 100% positive what I want to do with this. So this one, I think I will round the edges. That will kind of remind me that, yes, this is the one that I thought of using as a tag. And the next time that we work in the book, well, not maybe the next time, but when we work on this page, we will go ahead and maybe I have a stencil that is a measuring tape, and maybe stencil it on each side so that we have a nice journaling card versus this is a little, it's plain and needs a little something. So, but that's still going to go in there. That's what we're going to put in there when the time comes. So then the next spread is the art spread, the art store. I have nothing for the art store. Can you believe that? Okay, then the next one is the hardware. And I thought we've got these old light bulbs. Now, this is the kind of light bulbs that we had in our Christmas tree when I was a kid. And when you touched them, if they'd been on a while, they'll burn you. They were so hot. But, so pretty. But, so I thought this would go nice in the hardware store. Maybe even the trucks, because hardwares used to sell toys too, especially at Christmas. Not a lot of toys, but some. And trucks would be one of them that they would have there. So I'm not exactly sure how I want to do this, but I think the layout it's going to go in is going to be the hardware. I'm not even positive about that, but I thought that would be something cute to go in there. So I'm going to leave that in there because I had not thought it out. So now we have our school page. I have some of the Mamagami paper. A chalkboard. I really don't necessarily like that, so I don't even know what we'll do about that. But we have our little people here sitting on the bench waiting to go into school, and we've got our little money envelope there. While I have this out here, I think I'll just quick go around them and get that white edge off so I don't forget. And then we're going to put some bricks on the wall behind them. I pulled out one of a stencil that I made. I have lots of stencils, both store-bought and handmade, because I love stencils, and I love making stencils. I make them more than I use them. And this is going to be just like the other as far as we're going to make it, but we are not necessarily going to... Trying to think if I want a stencil on the flat, but I'm thinking might not want to. We'll see what it looks like when we're done. But yeah, I really love making them. I just don't think to get them out that often. Okay, so I want that to go right up towards the very top. Hopefully I'll have them straight. Now what I want to do, see, I've got some masking tape here. I want to tape it down a little bit. I'm going to tape across the bench here because I do want to stencil below it, but I don't want the I don't want it to get on the bench. So first off, I'm going to grab the parchment paper so that I don't get stuff on our book. And then I'm going to rip this about as wide as the bench and the brick that's right on top of that bench. Because I want it to be on the top and the bottom of that bench. There we go. But it was too wide. I didn't want to have a big gap. All right, so I'm going to put this right there. Let me see how much is sticking out underneath. Not very much, so I'm not going to worry about that. I could have cut it. Oh, also, because I don't want this to rip my paper, I'm going to stick it on my shirt and peel it off a couple of times to make it low tack instead of high tack. You can also put it on your arm, so long as you don't have any kind of allergies to things like this. Just do that. So now I'm going to line that up with the top of the bench. And there, looking at the lines, I think it needs to be moved just a little bit. Because there are lines on the music paper, it can make you look crooked. Like you do have to kind of line things up a bit. So I got out some fired brick, and I also think I'm going to mix a bit of tea dye with it because this looks like it's quite dark red. So I am going to grab a different sponge. Excuse me. And you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to use this sponge. I'm going to use a brush. It won't be as dark that way. The brushes make it definitely not as dark as the sponges do. So I'm kind of putting it on, holding it so it doesn't move. I'm not putting it on solid. I'm putting it on so it's here and there, and then I can go in and put the some tea dye with it and hopefully make it look a little bit more like what I think a brick looks like. Don't forget to come down here. All right, so now I'm just gonna rub that on my paper a little bit. And then pick up some of the tea dye. And really, when you're stenciling especially, you should be on a very flat surface. So I am working on the book, and that's really probably not the smartest thing for me to do. Just want to get some brown in there with that red. Even though it says fired brick, to me it looks quite red. Not really red, it's more of a maroon, but not quite the color I think of as bricks. So that's the thing, you do whatever you think might work. If this didn't work, if it doesn't look good when we're done, I mean, I already know the bench doesn't look great, but, you know, I'm not going to wind up doing any better because I'm not that good at drawing. But if you don't like it, I've got more of this paper in my music book. I can just make another one. So many people like stress over, oh, I don't know if I can do it. Very rarely can you not replace whatever it is you may have ruined. So, and a lot of times, you've seen it even in this series. A lot of times it winds up being like really quite awesome when you're done. Not even what you expected. I'm going to put this back on here. I'm going to line it up where it was. So it's all lined up, so I'm not going to get anything on my white spots here. It's also going to make this all still in line at the top. So since I had the tea dye on here, I'll just start with that. Even let it come down onto what's below it so it all blends together. Pick up a little bit of that brick color and color in the top. I didn't know if I really wanted to or not, but it was too white. It was just too stark white. And I should have, oh, that's okay on the top because I'll edge it with just to pull it all together. Okay, so the bench is not great, but it looks a little better now than it did. So there we go. Now we have our money envelope. And we're going to put our two little kids waiting to go into school on there. Okay, so they're facing away from each other. I think I would rather have them, even though they're still not facing each other, but like she doesn't have her back to him. More friendly this way. So we're just going to glue those on and stick them in our book. I'm not sure how much more. And because I am only using the wet glue, I am going right out to the edges because we don't want them to lift up. I think she needs to move over just a little bit. And then this will be what we are going to do on this page today, I think. I don't think I have anything else. I do have stuff sitting in here that I may want to use for this page, so I've put it in here. I had a lot of things like, as I found them or whatever, stacked up on the side, just all kind of put together. But now I think it's time to put them in the pages they're going to go in, so that I remember that I have them, and, you know, it also kind of helped me remember what I was thinking. So there we go. Now we've got our little coin envelope for their lunch money. They're ready for school, and they're going to go in the atlas. So we've got this for another time. I kind of thought that I might want to use, and if I darken that up, it might be okay. Might be cute on there. Oh, it would really fit on there. That might be cute on there. We'll see. I thought that I might want to use a piece of the Mamagami paper as like a fabric flip. To flip it up, do something under, you know, writing underneath, and then you've got it there. I'm not really sure if I'm going to do that or not, and whether I want to leave it the way it is, maybe just give it a little bit of tea coloring, or regular coloring. I just don't know. So I'm not putting that in yet, but I have those in there to remind me that I thought I may want to use them. So that is our school page. So then what do we have? We have the depot. So we have these little cards that we had done up as we were going through the papers. We have our conductor here, and then we've got a guy watching the clock to make sure the train's coming on time. Maybe this guy's just waiting to get on the train. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with those, but they are my thoughts for something with the train, so they're there. And then we have our family. Oh, I forgot to trim around her hand so that they can be going together to the circus. And we have these things that are there. Let's see what else we have, because we're getting close to when I should cut it off. So we have, I have this, which I'm going to cut right across. I'm not going to do it by hand. I'm going to cut that here better off the bottom. There we go. And then that's going to be backed, and it's going to be a journaling card. It could be a pocket. It could be a tuck pocket where you just glue here and here so you can tuck things inside. But I really think I want to make a journaling card out of it. So we'll just put some paper behind that. And then this was also in my Happy Mail. And it's Winnie the Pooh. This is the woods. So remember, they all lived in the 100-acre woods. So when I saw them, I thought, oh, perfect. So I'm going to make some kind of journaling cards, or maybe that will be a pocket. That would make a really cute pocket. And yeah, I'm thinking that that's probably going to be a pocket. So that's what I'm going to do with that. On our lake page, we have our little journaling cards here, and they can all just go in here. Actually, we could put one there and one there, and this one over there. I like that. I like that a lot. So, because this is going here and that's going there, I want to edge these with orange, and I want to edge that one with a turquoisey blue. So that's why I didn't edge them at the time. You know, just remember, you never, if you're not positive what you're doing with it, you don't have to do anything right then. Because I would not have liked it had I edged these in turquoise, which was the color I was thinking of. And it would have been okay. I mean, I would have lived with it, but I would prefer it be done when I'm thinking that's exactly what I want to do with it. And a lot of people say, well, if I don't just do it, then I don't do anything, you know, because I get stuck, I get blocked. Just, if you don't know what you want to do with it, go to the next thing. Normally, you'll run across something that you see it and you go, ooh, I want to do this with this. You know what? Remember I said I had all this stuff stacked up over here? Some of it I looked at it and I thought, I don't know why I put that there. I don't know what my thought was at the time. So had I done it then, or made myself a note, it would have been done. So I am going to kind of dab the top of this with, the bottom dries nicely, you know, that soaks in. But because this was a magazine page, it sits on the top for a while. So I just kind of dabbed it off a little bit before I stuck it in the pocket. And there we go. Now those I think look really pretty on that page. And so we need some turquoise for the other one. Same thing that this is edged in. I have to find it. And my last stack, of course, that's where it would be. Okay. I have these stacked in something. I'm not even sure what it was, but it's a wooden holder, and 2 of them fit in each little compartment. But you can't see them. I need to put a thing on the side, but I just haven't got around to it. And I probably won't. That's also things you can do when you think you've lost your mojo is, oh, go through and do some, do things like color some paper and glue it to the side so that you know what color that is when it's sitting on a shelf. Go through and make little labels for different things that when they're on the shelf, you can't see them. And so then it makes it easier for your crafting later. It also gives you something to do at the time when you don't know what you want to do. So there we go. So this one is going to go in here like that. I really like that. Okay. And then we have our circus. So I have, the circus is pretty much done. I need a pocket for this. And I thought that I might make some kind of a tag with those. And with a little balloon dogs because they're so cute. Or I thought I might even just put the balloon dogs in here. You know, kind of like this. Because they're cute. Actually, we should make them face each other. Like that. That is kind of cute. So, I'm not sure exactly what I want to do with those right now. But that is the circus page. Which the circus page actually got a tip in. So this one and this one. This is the actual spread that we had. We have a 2-page spread for each one. Each of the subjects. But then I did a tip in here because I wanted to add this and I wanted some more writing space. So we did this tip in and we just went ahead and put paper to hold it in its spot. So, and then this is just a puzzle, which was a picture. Let's see. It was a picture in the book. And so I just cut it into a puzzle and it is journaling cards. So there we go. This, I think, is as far as we're going to go. We've made it time-wise to where I don't want to go any further. It gets really hard when I get close to 50 minutes to upload it. So, but I hope that you enjoyed just watching some of the little things being made. So they're all going to be dried in the book and then put into their respective pages, even if they don't have a pocket yet. I love how that turned out. That's really perfect. And the only thing that this one needs is, I think I want something there. And I'm not sure what. So I hope that you enjoyed what we did today. If, couple of things. Don't forget to leave a message because every month I do a drawing, just a mini drawing. It's just a few sheets of paper or something. And I'll try and remember to put the link below so that you can go to see about the mini drawing, the rules for it, which is just leave a comment. And then I pick one video every month at some point during the next month. So this is August. I will pick one of the July videos and write down all of the names and pick one of those names out of a hat. And then that person will get sent a little envelope with just some things in it. But the thing is, I think that there is a way for you to, like, I don't know if it's called a push notification or whatever, but, hit the bell. If you hit the bell, it will tell you whenever I put up a video. And then on whatever day it is that I choose to do that drawing, you'll be able to just like go check and see if you were the winner, because 2 months in a row, I did not get contact for the winners. Now, the second month, actually, it was the same video. It was the second giveaway. And then when I redid the redraw, the young lady who had won the whole month before came back and said, oh, gee, I didn't see it. So if you hit the bell and you just check when I do mini monthly giveaway, you can just quick see if you won or not. And my email address will be below and you can email me. So, and all you have to do is just leave a comment on whatever video it is I pick at the time. And I just pick it by number, by week, sometimes my husband will say number 4 or whatever. And then I just count down, figure out which one was my 4th video. And then, so, but yeah, so if you hit the bell and then you check the mini monthly giveaway when I put it up, and that one is usually fairly quickly, it's fairly quick. And you can even just fast forward to the end to find out who won. But, yeah, because, I want to be able to send it to who it is that wins it. And you do have to get a hold of me because I don't have any other way to get it to you. So, but I hope that you enjoyed what we did today. I really am enjoying doing this book. And I think when we come back next time, we will work in the lap book section because we haven't been there for a little while. So, that is it for today. Thank you very much for stopping by. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.